Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is McKenna. I gotta say, I think this is the most clothes I've worn since I came back on here. Okay. Anyway, happy Halloween. It's not Halloween yet, but we're getting there. Today, as you read the title of this video, I am going to give you a story time, which I don't think I've ever done on this channel before, but there's a first time for everything, right? And this particular story, I've been debating for over 2 months if I wanted to share it or not, from my perspective, my story, not anyone else's story. As you read the title, this story time is about my first love, and you're probably thinking, well, how was your first love a catfish? As simple as I could say it, I was very stupid, very naive, very gullible, all the things that I should have known better. Even as a teenager, I should have known better. And now that I'm almost 21, I definitely know better, and I know what to prepare for the next time I ever try to fall in love. Basically, just don't fall in love online, okay? Just don't fall in love online. And if you do, make sure that you're handling it better than I did. And I'm going to tell you from the very beginning what happened, and basically everything from 2020 to present. And I know how stupid it sounds, but as you are going through this video with me, I would really appreciate if we didn't send any hate comments. I have learned my lesson from this chapter of my life, and I don't plan to ever go back and make the same mistakes that I did. This is just a story that I feel like can help others that were in my situation know better. So basically I met this person on this game, Movie Star Planet. And if you don't know Movie Star Planet is an online dress-up game that little kids played. It was very popular in the 2010s. Really, people who play it now are they're my age. Like, they're people who grew up with the game like I did. I started playing it when I was 9 years old, so it was definitely part of my childhood, part of what made me who I am today. And I met some really great people on this game. Like, it wasn't just like I met someone and I fell in love. Like, I wasn't really planning on meeting somebody and falling in love on a game. For me personally, I spent half of my life from when I was 10 years old to kind of present online instead of living in like real time in person. Like, I didn't really spend a lot of my time outdoors like I should have. Like, I should have spent more time with my friends in my city and found a boyfriend and fell in love in person, but I didn't, because I spend most of my time online, and I don't regret it, but at the same time I kind of do, only because of everything that I put myself through. I met some really great people on that game. Some people I've been friends with for over 8 years now. Like, they are my friends. They're my best friends, and I know they're not catfishes because I FaceTime them. Basically, in 2020, it was January. I was still 15 years old. I logged onto the game at, I think, 8 o'clock at night, and I went into a chat room, and I met this guy on there, and I messaged him because I was bored. I don't know why I even really initiated the conversation, but I did anyway. So I messaged him and I was like, hey, I'm McKenna. Well, no, I said hello, rat. That was my introduction. I said hello, rat. Anyway, we talked, and he said his name was Chase. And yeah, I'm gonna say his fake name because it wasn't his real name. So for future reference, I'm not mentioning any real names on this video. I will make up fake names along the way, but I'm not giving anyone's real names out there on this channel, okay? This is just from my perspective, my story time, and I don't want anyone to send hate their way. I met him, his name was Chase, and we hit it off very well. Like, we hit it off very well. We became friends real quick. We became friends. We talked about everything. We realized that we live actually very close to each other. Like, he lives in Ohio and I live in Pennsylvania. Like, we're very close. And basically a few weeks later, it was February, right before my 16th birthday, we decided to talk on Instagram. So he gave me his Instagram and we started talking pretty much every day on my spam account because I didn't want to give him my personal Instagram account yet. Not because I was like big on privacy, it was because I was insecure. I was terrible at makeup. I looked horrible. I didn't like my clothes. Like, at 16, I wasn't really dressing for myself. I was dressing how my mom wanted me to dress. I wasn't able to buy clothes for how I wanted what I wanted to wear. Anyway, we talked on my spam account pretty much every day, and we just realized that we had a lot of things in common. We talked about life. We talked about everything. Like, we were just really close friends. And right before my 16th birthday, I asked, like, can you send a picture of yourself? Because I'm curious what you look like. So he did. And honestly, I kind of knew at 16 that he probably is a catfish, but I still wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt and still talk to him because I was very much already catching feelings for this person just because of their personality. And so yeah, he sent me a picture of what he looked like and I was like, oh my god, you like, I don't think I said anything, honestly. I don't remember. I don't have the messages. But yeah, so that happened. He told me a little bit about his family, and then it was my 16th birthday. He sent a whole paragraph saying happy birthday, that he was happy he met me. Stuff that, like, words that were so easy for me to fall in love with because I never met a person like that who was able to sweet talk me the way he did. So we talked every day, and eventually he did give me his number like a few weeks ahead after my 16th birthday, before COVID hit. I didn't use his number till like maybe a week or two into the pandemic. Yeah, but once COVID hit and we locked down, we pretty much talked even more than we did before, because before we were in school and he had a job, we were doing all this crap at because we were teenagers. We had things we had to do. We had school, we had work. We pretty much had a lot of free time, and we talked even more pretty much every single day. Fast forward to April of 2020, I told my friends, I was like, I can't handle my feelings for this person anymore, because like, I don't know how to keep my feelings a secret, because I never felt this way for a person before, and Chase was really good at making me feel things that I never felt for anyone before. And so after his 18th birthday, we talked after maybe midnight. I was supposed to go to sleep, and then my mind kept me up, and I ended up telling him that I had feelings for him. And he said he felt the same way for me, and it felt really good to know that someone that I'm completely falling for feels the same way for me. So we talked about feelings, we talked about what we liked about each other, that kind of stuff. We didn't talk about relationships. It kind of just ended there. I didn't really know how to start the conversation for that, because I'd never been put into a situation like that. And so fast forward to maybe a week later, after we confessed our feelings, I told my friend Miranda, I was like, what am I supposed to do? Basically, it was after 4 a.m. on Easter morning of 2020. I had dinner plans literally later on that day, but I could not sleep. So I told Chase, I was like, what are we? like, what are we? Like, are we gonna get in a relationship? Like, what's going on? And basically, he said that he was scared to be in a relationship because the story that he gave me was that his ex-girlfriend cheated on him several times with his best friend, and that so he was scared to be committed to somebody else in the same way. And I was like, okay, I understand that. Like, that's fine. I get it. So yeah, that happened, and I was like, we could just take it one step at a time. That's fine by me. And I want to say maybe a few days later, I was like, I think we were having a conversation about our parents and about school and math and all that, because, you know, we were doing school online. And I said, can you send me a video of yourself saying my name or whatever? Because my friends are like, he might be a catfish. And I was like, I don't know. He seems like he's very convincing. Like, he's not lying. And very gullible, guys. Very gullible. So we talked, and I sent him that question. And guess what? Chase disappeared for a few days, and he came back on Instagram saying, I'm on my computer, I've been grounded for 2 weeks. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. Like, what do you mean? Like, that's kind of, that I thought that was weird right then and there at 16 years old, that he just disappeared after I asked that question and then said that he was grounded. Like, I thought that was very weird. And then I was like, okay, that's fine. So basically, that's when he started to get a little bit inconsistent, and because he was grounded. So basically, at the end of April, he got ungrounded, and then he started texting me again on Instagram. I can't remember all the details of what happened, but I do remember of May 3rd was the last text that Chase sent me. And I was so hurt, guys. You have no idea how hurt I was. I was so hurt that I was like pretty much crying every single day of May 2020. I stopped doing schoolwork. I stopped showing up for classes. Like, Chase completely disappeared out of thin air. Like, at this point, it wasn't, what hurt me the most is the fact that he wasn't just somebody I met on Movie Star Planet. He was somebody that was my friend, like one of my best friends. Like, we talked on Instagram, we talked on his number. Like, we never called or anything, but we were closer than just being friends from a game. So he disappeared out of thin air. I was pretty much heartbroken. I lashed out on a few teachers. I honestly don't even know how I passed, but I did pass. I just didn't go to classes anymore. Fast forward to July, Chase blocked me on his number because I was spamming a lot, and I just did not know what to do to get in touch with him. So I used a fake number, and this is when I started to act a little bit crazy. But like, at the same time, I never been in love before. I never knew how this felt. I never knew how attached I could be to somebody like this. And so I used fake numbers to get a hold of him. And eventually, of July 20th, he texted me back on his fake number, and he's like, you're like crazy. Oh, I forgot to mention, I shouldn't have done this, but I did it anyway. I wasn't really thinking whenever I was 16, but I had one of my best friends use his number to look it up to see if he can get information about Chase, because besides his first name, I didn't really know anything about him other than the fact that he lived in Ohio, and like, I did not know what information was true and what wasn't. And so basically, my friend did not find anything about him that was useful. And I think whenever Chase texted me in July, he was mad about that, saying that he had cops all in his business. He gave a very big excuse on why he couldn't text me. Basically, his ex-girlfriend, her nudes were leaked, and he got accused because she was still underage and he was 18. And I don't know, there was a whole court case that he said that he had to go through. Like, this person was very, 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 very convincing. Like, so convincing that all my friends were believing it. Like, I was talking to all my friends about this because I was like, I did not know how to handle this by myself, and no one in my family knew I was involved in a situation like this. And so he told me that he had problems with his ex and had court cases or whatever, and I'm like, okay, if you need space, I'll give it to you, okay? But I didn't realize space meant months at a time. He meant months, and it killed me not talking to him every single day, because at that point in 2020 and 2021, I was like completely, absolutely in love with this person, and I did not know how to go months without talking to them. Like, I was just not a good friend to most of my friends, and all I wanted to do was talk about him every single day to my friends, and they hated it. Like, I understand because they got sick of hearing his name. I understand, but I really missed him. Like, this person made me fall in love and then just completely disappeared. So, fast forward to 2021 in March. I asked him about the court case, and he said he was going to be okay, but he was still going through a lot of things mentally. And I don't want to get into all that because that's not my business. I think some of that wasn't a lie, but he was going through a lot of things mentally and in his life. I guess in a way I understand, because I don't handle my mental health well whenever I'm in a bad place. So I really can't understand how he felt. So fast forward to 2022. From July 21 to January 2022, we haven't talked for 6 months, and basically he came back saying that he was sorry for everything, and I was like, okay, I think at that time I just got out of a 2-week relationship that did not last long and was completely pointless. We talked, and he apologized for everything that he put me through, and that he was going to be a better person, that he was in therapy, all this shit that he was giving me. He kept saying that he wasn't lying about his identity, that kind of crap. And I was like, okay, because I invaded his privacy. Well, my friend invaded his privacy, but it was more me because I gave my friend his number. So basically, there was trust issues in that department. So I was like, okay, I understand you don't want me to give you, because I forgot to mention, he changed his number. He said that he was getting death threats, but I don't really think that was the reason. I don't remember. But anyway, he changed his number, and I was like, I understand if you don't want to give me your new number, like, because I invaded your privacy. So we started talking on Discord, because he didn't have Instagram anymore. He deactivated that in 2021. Like, it was just like, okay, I understand. Like, we can talk on Discord and build up our friendship again. And I was hoping at 18 years old I would be able to convince him to FaceTime me, because I was a lot more confident than I was in 2020. And I wanted to believe that he was who he says he was, even though I was uncertain for 2 years at that point. So it was January 2022, we started talking again on Discord. From January to February, he was kind of consistent, not every single day, but enough to have a conversation that didn't get me mad. So, yeah. Then my grandfather died, and out of nowhere, of course, Chase disappeared again, and I was really upset because I needed somebody to talk to. But he made a mental note to say happy birthday to me for my 18th birthday. So he said happy birthday, and that was actually the last time I heard from him for a few months. I guess he was planning just to stop talking to me because he felt like I deserved better. I reached out in July of 2022, and I said, like, because I was planning on cutting him off. Like, guys, I have told this person so many times that I was going to cut him off, but I was never able to. It was just so hard. Unless I had proper closure, I was not able to cut this person off. So in July of 2022, I sent a long paragraph saying that I couldn't do this anymore and that, like, we shouldn't be friends, all this crap. He responded, and it completely switched everything up. Like, I just couldn't go through with cutting him off again. And basically he said that he would try to be a little bit consistent and respond at least once a week or so. Like, at that point, I was taking anything just so I can have him in my life. So in the summer of 2022, it's when things kind of got heated again, as I think I could say. We started talking more, flirting more. I even said that I was in love with him. Like, in August of 2022, I sent an entire novel saying how in love I was with him and how I would wait for him to be in a good place. I would wait for him, basically, which was so stupid because there was nobody for me to wait for. But yeah, I sent a whole novel saying how in love I was and that he felt the same way for me. And that happened. Fast forward to October, 2 months after I confessed, we talked about school and college, that kind of stuff, because he said he was in college, and I'm like, okay, that's cool, I'm happy for you. I didn't really think he was going to go to college, but he didn't want to not do anything with his life, even after everything he's been through, so I was like, okay, I understand, and just know I'm rooting for you. So yeah, we talked about school, we talked about everything that's happened since we last spoke, and basically, we just kind of had a conversation about, like, the last real conversation we had about each other's feelings for each other and where that left us. I wanted to know eventually, like, if it was going to lead to something, if not. And basically, he said he didn't think that he could change in time for us to be something. And I was like, okay, I mean, I understand, like, you're going through stuff, so, yeah, and he didn't want me waiting for him, so we ended up trying, again, to cut each other off, but we both couldn't do it. So I told him that we could be friends from a distance and still reach out to one another, just not talk like we did. So that's what happened, but I didn't realize from October to the following year that we wouldn't have spoke for 8 months. I'm starting to get a little emotional. I am so sorry. It's just, this is all still really recent to me. So now we're in 2023, and I haven't heard from him for 8 months. And again, it was so hard to move on without not having closure. So I got desperate. I didn't have any connections. His Instagram was gone. He changed his number. I was like, okay, what do I do now? Like, how do I get in touch with this person? So I went back to the resource of where we met. I went on to Movie Star Planet, and I texted one of his best friends on there. And basically his name was Axel, and they have been friends for 8 years. So I messaged Axel, and Axel responded to me, and we started talking on Discord. Mainly, we were talking about Chase at first, and then we started talking about other things. But basically, he texted Chase on Xbox and was like, hey, McKenna reached out. She misses you. I miss you. That kind of shit. So a few days later, in June of 2023, Chase reached out to both me and Axel. And basically, Chase said that he was just been so busy with school and making friends and work, all the basic shit that is such a lame excuse to ghost somebody. I was really pissed off. At that point, I was really fed up with the whole thing because I've been going through it for 3 years at that point. And I was just pissed off. Like, I was like, I still cared about him, but I was just so mad at that point because, like, I was put through so much heartbreak over and over and over again that I was getting fed up. So we talked about everything. I talked about how he needs to change and be a better person, not only for me, but for his family, for his friends, for his future girlfriend, that kind of shit. And yeah, he said that he would try to talk to me more during that summer, which never really happened. So that was that. So I talked to Axel pretty much every day, and this is where this story kind of takes a turn for the worse. So buckle up because it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Oh my god. Okay, so I talked to Axel pretty much every day to a point that we were friends, and we talked every day. Eventually, we were talking so much that we started having feelings for one another, which was so bad because this is my first love's friend. But I never considered myself a homie hopper. I still don't. I don't know what it was about that situation. I went through a lot last year, but it's not an excuse to go for somebody's friend. I can't believe. But anyway, my friends were persuading me to go for this relationship because he was kind of opposite of Chase. Like, he was a good person. He had a positive attitude. He had good things going for him. Like, he should be the guy that I should be going for. And again, I didn't FaceTime this person. I did not FaceTime this person because I was insecure. I was going through a lot mentally last summer and 2 summers ago, technically. And I was very insecure of my body. I did not like the way I looked. Like, I just did not want to FaceTime him. And anytime I actually did want to FaceTime, like when I was in the mood to talk to him, even on the phone, he made excuses not to. But at that point, I was already getting attached, and I did not know how to detach myself from this person who will not FaceTime me on Discord. But I let it go for the first month that we knew each other. But we had feelings for each other, which wasn't good because of Chase, because they were still friends and I was considered Chase's girl. Anyway, we talked about telling Chase, and so I did. Whenever Chase decided to reach out in July, I told him that me and his friend had feelings for each other, but nothing happened. We haven't done anything that Chase and I haven't done. We just flirted. That was it. He was very upset, and that kind of should have been a red flag right there, because when do you ever see guys be that dramatic? When I tell you this guy was so mad, he was so mad. Like, he was acting like a girl, like a little girl. And at this point, like, he was sending paragraphs to Axel. He was fighting with Axel. He was fighting with me. It was an awful situation because I was being told that I was a homie hopper and that I ruined a friendship. I was being yelled at, and I personally, I can't handle when people yell at me. And so I was having a breakdown that night because I was being yelled at, and Axel wasn't helping the situation because he thought I was over Chase, and I told him I wasn't. And I did something stupid. I ended up hurting myself that night because I couldn't take all the pain and all the heartbreak I felt in that moment. Like, it was just so overwhelming that I took it upon myself, and it was pretty much for nothing. Basically, Chase didn't respond for a few days, and Axel was mad at me because he thought that I was over Chase, and that's why he was ready to ruin his friendship with him, and that never happened. We decided to be friends because I still had unresolved feelings for Chase, and it just wasn't the right timing. So that happened, and then I talked to Chase basically a few days later. He was calmed down, like everything was fine. He wasn't like as mad as he was whenever he found out. We talked about like how he understood why it happened, and that he wasn't good to me, so he had no reason to be as upset as he was. Very, very, very stupid situation, I know. But I was, you live and you learn. You live and you learn. So basically, he said that we could be friends. But he told me we did not have a future. Like, we were toxic. Like, it was just not gonna work. And at that point, I kind of agreed with him. Because if we were supposed to work out, we would have worked out by now. It wouldn't have took 3 years for us to get together. So yeah, Axel and I remained friends, and Chase and I remained friends. But at that point, I still had feelings for Axel, and I did not know how to handle the situation. I knew if I wanted to be with Axel, I would have to cut off the other one. So I took it upon myself to cut Chase off, and so I could be with Axel, which honestly, all of this was for nothing, because he didn't want anything to do with me. So that it was for nothing, guys. I kind of realized, but by the end of July, at the beginning of August, that Axel was a catfish, because I told him, I was like, I don't understand why you're being so weird about your voice. All I asked from you was a voice message for right now, but he would not give it to me. He's like, I don't know why you're so weird about my voice. Like, he was being very manipulative, and just it was like a gaslighting situation at that point. So August comes, I have no contact with Chase. I'm still talking to Axel every day, but I was getting more and more suspicious of Axel. So I took one of his pictures that he sent. By the way, this person sent so many videos and pictures of Axel that I wasn't really questioning as much, because I feel like if most people who catfish online don't use a lot of photos and videos unless they're asked. I don't know. At least in my personal experience, that's what happened with me. So yeah, I Google lensed a photo that Axel has sent me, and some girl's Instagram came up. At that point, I was like so shocked, and I couldn't believe what I saw, that Axel was a catfish. So I didn't know what to do. Like, it was after midnight when this all happened, and I was like flabbergasted. Like, I was sad, but at the same time I was so pissed off, because I spent 2 months trying to pursue this person and sacrifice my mental health, all the drama that I went through with Chase, for this person, just for it to be another catfish. I didn't really say anything to Axel. I said, you really broke my heart, and I never talked to me again. And then I unadded that person. And I had a group chat with him and my other 2 friends. So we were in a group chat. All of them started spamming in a group chat trying to get his attention. And I sent a very long message basically confronting Axel for being a catfish, and saying, like, I can't believe you do this after everything I talked about, how we mentioned about how it's so stupid a catfish, all that stuff. And I never heard from Axel again. Like, that was the last time I heard from Axel. So at that point, it was August of 2023. I'm just processing that Axel, who I spoke to for 2 months, was a catfish. And again, it was my fault. So that happened, and then my dog got sick during that summer. So she ended up passing in September of 2023. I was in even more of a dark place than I already was, between all the heartbreak that I went through between both guys, my body, my dog passing away. My mental health was just in a very dark place. I was gaining a lot of weight, and I was really, really depressed. After the whole Axel situation, I didn't talk to anyone for literally months. Like, literally months. basically fast forwarding to this year, I didn't know how to move on from the situation because I still felt guilty for being a homie hopper. I hated hurting the person that I cared about, even though he hurt me every single chance that he got, and I let him. I didn't like hurting him back. So I started doing therapy in March. I was actually in a decent place at that point. I started my weight loss journey, as you guys know. I got a new job. I was finishing up my classes that I had finished to get my diploma for high school. And I wanted to add therapy to that list. So I talked to my therapist about the situation. I told him everything that I'm telling you guys. And he told me to write a letter and then burn it. But because I had so much to say, I did not write a handwritten letter. I typed it on my computer. So I didn't burn it or anything. I just wrote a long letter written for Chase that I still have. But it didn't make me feel any better. I still felt really confused and just lost. And I knew I needed closure from this situation. I just did not know how I was supposed to get it. So I ran out of options on how to get a hold of Chase and Axel because they disappeared from Movie Star Planet. They disappeared from Discord. Instagram was not up. I didn't have the number. I didn't know how to get closure from this situation, guys. But I figured out that Chase deactivated his Instagram, so I could just send forgot password. This is where my craziness kind of comes back. I promise I'm not that crazy, guys. It's just love makes you crazy, like Taylor says. Months, not every single day, but like maybe a few times a month, I would spam forgot password to Chase's email for his Instagram just to get his attention. And so that's what happened. By July of 2024, my friend told me that his Instagram was back. And I was like, holy shit, I can't believe that worked. So I got his Instagram back, but he wasn't on there. So what I decided to do is search for his following and look who I could potentially ask questions to about Chase. So I found this girl after messaging a few people. I'm gonna call her Ellie. So I messaged Ellie and she told me that she knew him back in 2020 whenever he was dating her friend. We'll call her Sarah. So basically, Ellie was telling me that Chase actually had a whole different name, named Scott. So he had a whole different alter ego that I didn't know about, and he was dating her friend Sarah from 2019 to 2020. Basically, disappeared a few months after he met me. I was kind of already processing the fact that he was dating somebody while talking to me. Her friend Sarah got Instagram back, and we had a whole group chat trying to find a way to get just find out more information about this Chase. And long story short, Sarah found information using the number Chase sent me back in 2020, and we searched this number up on Cash App, and long story short, not really a long story short because we're 42 minutes into this until I edit this. Basically, after doing as much research as we did, we found out by using her number and putting it into Cash App, which I could have done years ago, but I didn't because it wasn't clicking back then. A girl's Cash App account came up. I'm not going to tell you her name, but we will call her Kylie. We will call her Kylie. So Sarah, Ellie, and another girl and I, we were all so flabbergasted by this brand new information that not only was Chase not a guy, he was indeed a girl. A girl who played not only me, but 2 other girls from 2020 to 2024. So Kylie, she had her own Instagram account. Again, Sarah used Kylie's number to look up information about her and found mom and her mom and her brother, I think. I can't remember. She messaged her brother, and her brother was like, "What the fuck is going on?" He thought it was a very weird situation, and I could understand him. But anyway, basically, he told Sarah that Kylie wanted to talk to her on Discord. So that's what happened. So Kylie talked to Sarah on Discord. Keep in mind, this was 2 months ago, and I was going through such a bad state mentally. I just lost my job. The guy I like from my old job, we stopped being friends for a few reasons. I was going through a lot. I was going through a withdrawal from my medication. Like, I was going through a lot. And adding the fact that not only was my first love a complete and utter lie, but it was not real. So basically, Kylie wanted to talk to me next. And she told me that not only was Chase a lie, everything about Chase, other than the fact that her mental health was completely fucked, was a lie. Axel was a lie too. She was also Axel. And I honestly couldn't believe that she was both people. I mean, I kind of suspected when they both disappeared after last summer, but I didn't fully believe it at the same time because she was so convincing. She made it look so real that she was 2 different people. Like, she gave both of these people, that Chase and Axel, completely different personalities and different typing styles. I was not able to put 2 and 2 together. But yeah, she told me that she was so sorry and that she completely cared about me, but she was trying to use Axel to keep me away from Chase so I can move on. She said she basically used the situation for her own entertainment last summer because she was going through a lot and that she was getting help and all that crap. But she said that she didn't catfish anymore, and that's why she completely disappeared, because she felt so bad and she didn't want to continue the hoax. So that's why she never came back to explain. And I asked her, I was like, why didn't you tell me years ago? Because I probably would have forgave you and we could have been great friends. She's like, I didn't know you that well. I didn't know if you would leave or not. And I understood that because honestly, I honestly don't know if I would have stayed or not. But yeah, basically she said that she was very sorry, that she did care about me, but she's like pretty sure that nothing she felt for me was romantic, which kind of hurt and stabbed me right in the back because this girl, she said so much stuff to me as Chase, said so much about how much she loves me and how she saw a future of me, how she wanted to marry me, this kind of stuff that oh my god, I was literally eating up all these words. And it hurts so bad to know that none of it was real. And my friend made a really big point. How was she my first love if those feelings were not reciprocated? And it hit. And it really hit. Because honestly, it wasn't real. It wasn't real. Not to her. And as real as it was for me, it wasn't. The whole thing was a hoax. And because of this situation, I try to let myself believe that I never fell in love and I don't even know what love is, because that wasn't love. What she put me through as Chase and Axel, how she disappeared for months and then came back with some bullshit story and excuse. Every single time, how I defended this person to all of my friends, and I lost a lot of friends. I sacrificed my mental health for this person because I believed that one day I could get through to this person, that we could actually be something, that I could make this person FaceTime me and we could actually meet in person and actually have a relationship. But all of that was for nothing. And because of this, I will not pursue a relationship with somebody online unless they FaceTime me first. And that is honestly the smartest thing you could do. If you're gonna date online, please make sure you know they are who they say they are. Because you do not want to get attached as much as I did and get hurt the same way that I did, because it changed me. It changed me completely. And I don't, honestly, to this day, even though it's only been 2 months, I'm still processing it. But at the same time, I just don't know if I'm able to let myself try to fall in love again right now at this moment. I think I just want to take more time to process all that this person has put me through and move on, and then hopefully that my next relationship that I have will be in person, and that will be my first real love. The moral of the story of why I told this story time was that I want people to learn from my mistakes and not do the same things that I did, because I was so gullible. I'm still gullible, obviously, because I didn't learn my lesson even in 2023 when I met Axel. I still did the same stupid mistakes. But I don't plan on doing that again, and I really hope if you have watched this video that you will not make the same mistakes that I made. And that's why I wanted to tell this story. I was debating for 2 months whether or not I wanted to tell my side and let it out in the world. But I was feared of being judged because it was my fault. But I also believe it was a really valuable life lesson that I needed to learn, and that it could be good for other people to learn as well. A bag just fell and it scared the hell out of me. Anyway, that is the story. Basically, Kylie and I, we no longer talk. She hasn't reached out. I don't have any more questions for her. We're no longer friends, but me and Sarah and Ellie, we're all still friends, and we still talk about this because they're still processing as much as I am. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section and I will try to answer them as best as I can. I really appreciate you guys getting through this whole story time with me. Let me know if you want more. I don't know how often I will be able to post. I just started a new job and I'm pretty much working 5 days a week now, and I want to use my rest days to rest. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time and it helped you learn from my mistakes, because that's all I wanted. I don't want people to go through the same thing that I did. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your year if I don't upload another video by then. And I will see you next time. Bye!